Hey everyone, back with another Padsplit horror story. This Charlotte property has been a pain in my neck, but it's really a lot on me as I did rush into this co-living property before even putting it on Padsplit and didn't have the proper systems or rules in place and expectations for my members. We're going to get into that and so much more on a later video as I'm going to have another Padsplit host doing this so much more successful than me in another state. Named Jared. He's going to come out. We're going to do this huge series about pad split and co-living and what you can do if you're really trying to get into the co-living space and also understand what to expect. But I nearly had to evict someone that was not leaving after we terminated them, and they also broke into another member's room and stole their PS5, which was least on top of that. Yes, I know, so crazy. But I have cameras that can't prove it, but I at least have something there showing him coming in and out of the house and when they left. But let's get into this. So this member, about 3 weeks before, we're having some real issues. Once he moved into the house almost 3 months ago, slowly became more and more of a problem. Tried to turn me against all the other members, saying they were the problem. Many of the other members not liking this person. Um, and kind of got to the point where I found out he was also telling people that he knew that he met and were bringing into the house that weren't living there, that that was his house and he owned it. So he pretty much tried to claim the house as his own and that it was his house and letting people stay there. On top of that, he was he started to not pay rent. I gave him a couple extensions, which I shouldn't have, but I did. Um And then he was breaking house rules. In Padsplit, we don't allow overnight guests without approval. He was warned about it after we proved he did it, claimed he didn't, but I'm like, we have footage of you coming in and out of the property, bringing someone in and out of the property. Um, he also had, and this was where we really drew the line and started to start the process of gathering information to terminate this member. About 4 days before termination, somebody came trying to access the property that didn't live there, saying that their phone and something else was in the property, yelling and screaming and scaring one of my other guests or other members. So my member got a hold of me, this member, and said, "Hey, somebody's trying to get in the property that doesn't live here, claiming Jay stole their phone, this and that." He comes out, calms this guy down, but also claims that this was not somebody that he brought to the house. Either way, there was a lot of baggage that came along with this member, and it led up to finally when he didn't pay this week, we just said, no, we're not giving you another extension. You already owe X amount. We're having this and this rule broken. You keep having overnight guests after you have been told no, um, which we fined him for. And I was getting a little nervous because 4 days down the road without a responses, he wasn't moving out. I with Padsplit, I don't know if you realize this out or not, they don't physically go to your property at all. They call, they email, they message, but there's no in-person service that in-person service Padsplit offers. So what did I have to do? I'm looking around and I'm calling friends and did set up the point where I was going to have somebody go and post an eviction notice on the door. Luckily, it got to the point where we were going to post that day, and that afternoon he did start to move out. But that afternoon he moves out, breaks into another member's room, and steals their PS5 allegedly before he left. So what can we do there? And what did I do? I actually ended up, and I think this was the right route. I was kind of reactionary on this, but I let the member know you have to file a police report. This isn't something that I can handle. This is a legal matter. So a police report was filed. A case was built with Padsplit with this member that was stolen from. And anything that we needed to give as far as footage or what we had on this member was given to the police. What will come of it, I really don't know, but I'm pretty sure that was the right way to deal with this. If you have a different way you would have dealt with this, let me know. But as the host, I'm not responsible for personal items from someone else being stolen. Now, it seemed like that was it. Police report, open this with Padsplit. get any information to the police that they could use. Will anything come of this? I'm not sure. Usually, I would let Padsplit take their 7 days to attempt to collect this person from this person for late rent, and then I would go after that because Padsplit only tries to collect late rent if somebody moves out with a late payment for 7 days. I would usually give it another 7 days and try on my own to set up a payment plan, give him a reduction of what he owes, because we all know if you send somebody to collections, they're going to get a cut if they collect anything. So I offer a great payment plan, usually about 25% a week from what they're paying. So if they're paying $200 a week, I'd be like, pay me $50 a week, and I'm going to knock 15 or 20%, whatever I decide to try right off the bat. Say, hey, if you owe me $1,000, if you pay me $800 back, and let's do it at $50 a week. Sometimes, so far one time, I have gotten somebody on a payment plan that paid me completely off, and I never had to send them to collections. Um, Another thing I'm not quite sure if you realize with Padsplit, and I'm not trying to bash Padsplit, I'm just letting you know you're going to end up having somebody that moves out that doesn't pay. What are you going to do then? This does come on you, the owner. So I really want you to understand this. Um, if they don't pay, I mean, debt collection, at least what I've found nationwide, you're usually paying money to open that file. You could always go to small claims court and file a judgment against this person, but that also costs money and time. And if you don't want to show up to court, an attorney will have to do it for you, which also costs money. And a lot of these debts are so small, it's really hard to fork out money knowing that you're likely not getting that back. I do it mainly because I want to hold these people accountable. I do let them know that their credit's not negatively impacted as long as they make a payment plan with me and pay me back. But if I have to file collections, you will have a negative, I mean, it will negatively affect your credit. Um, so I follow through with that. This is the second person I've had to send to collections, and I opened it up this morning. I gave him 3 more days after he left. No response, no attempt to set up a payment plan. Um, and I forked out another $99 to open this up to hopefully collect, but at least hold this person accountable. I'd be really curious, other hosts of Padsplit or any co-living, what you do, because a lot of these balances are really small that they owe you even if you give them a 1 week extension. It's hard to throw more money. It's kind of like throwing good money after bad, because there's a very little chance that you're actually going to get anything out of this person. But yeah, let me know what you're doing. Comment below, hosts or any co-living platform, or if you're planning on getting into the co-living space, what you would do in the scenario. Because I'm still tweaking so many things in my system to try to more efficiently run this type of setup. It's not a long-term rental. It's so much more active than a long-term rental. Um, I will say, some hosts are better than others, and some hosts have do better at placing members. That's something I'm working with and working on, trying to figure out better systems to place members, because you don't get to see their background and credit check when they sign up with Padsplit. They have, their criteria that they let you know what it is, but it's a yes or no. They don't even get backgrounds and credit checks sent. They actually don't even check credit, period. So a lot of these things that you really have to think about the type of people that may end up in your property and how can you vet them, because it could be a challenge, and one bad person in a co-living property can really cause some other people to move out, and your turnover in this model will absolutely crush you. So stick around. If you're here this long, please comment below and just say what you got out of this video. But stick around, because Jared's coming on with me for probably about 2 months worth of content and just crushing every little thing that you have to think, what he's doing, what I'm doing, what's worked, what hasn't worked. Because if you were thinking about getting into co-living, I'm telling you this now, there's so much more you have to think about than what these platforms sell you on. And the numbers are going to look so, so good on what they sell you. Um, but what you really have to underwrite and understand as far as the numbers that you're going to actually get are a lot different. I've been doing this for about a year now, and I've house hacked before this, having people live with me. I expected some differences, but not as much as this. So let's talk about all the things I screwed up on, all the things other hosts are doing better, and what I would do differently if I started this all over again from scratch.